Ended up winning the game against the Red Sox here on Thursday night. You see the very respectable record at 8-2, the 115 innings, the 256 batting average against. Nice strikeout ratio, 115, 102 strikeouts. Let's take a look at the New York Yankees pitching scout report brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Unlucky 7. We mentioned about that last start. He went 5 innings in the 7 walks, so we'll look at for command issues early on and keep their distance. Well, you know, with the Yankees having a 5.5 game lead on the Red Sox, maybe Joe Girardi will have opportunities to have Jabba maybe skip a day or have a day off or skip a start here and there. He's got the 115 innings. There may be an innings issue in September. And breakaway, well, he's 8-0 career-wise with a 175 record after the All-Star break, and that ties Pat Darcy of the Reds for having the most career post-All-Star break wins without a defeat.
Al, what is it in your wallet?
Wow.
Since you asked everybody, Paul wanted to know.
Well, large, too fat. Fat wallet.
I think I went to the ATM not too long ago.
Anyway, we are ready for baseball here at Yankee Stadium. Digging in is Marco Scudero. Yankees lost last night 5-4. They've won 7 of their last 8 games. So Scudero is off to a really good season. And he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, just at the right time. He digs in. Jabba Chamberlain is ready, and let's do it here in the Bronx as Chamberlain deals a fastball strike, and we are underway.
You mentioned about Marco Scudero. I love the way he plays. You're saying he's a free agent at the end of the year. Perfect time for him to be batting right around that 300 batting average. Guy walks a lot, just really been given this opportunity with the Blue Jays. Drafted by the Brewers, went to the Mets, a couple free agent waiver claims, went on to Oakland. Really settled in nicely here.
So quickly, 0-2. Chamberlain, since the All-Star break, has opponents hitting 156 against him. And the 0-2 outside. He faced Toronto twice this year. Didn't do too well in that game. 3 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 8 runs. 3 earned runs and 2 home runs allowed. That's what Scudero has done since July 22nd, over 16 games, 362.
It's like a subconscious thing or what it is about, you know, guys have free agent years, they just put up big numbers. I don't know if it's a challenge or if it's just something in the back of your mind that you need to try hard, but you don't go out on the field day in and day out thinking I'm going to be a free agent next year. But I tell you, if you look at numbers of guys who become free agents, they're always good.
Maybe it's a concentration level. You know, every at bat is going to mean something. The 1-2 fouled away.
Although then you could look at Matt Holliday when he was traded from Colorado to the A's, and he was going to be arguably one of the biggest free agents on the market this winter. Really struggled with Oakland.
Although doing very well in St. Louis.
Payday, Paulie.
That it?
Yes.
I didn't want to bring that up, but that's Michael's train of thought right there.
That one's drilled to left field, backing up Damon. He reaches up and he makes the play. 1 away.
I'll tell you what, Johnny Damon makes a great play, but if you're Scudero, you're thinking, you know, what a worse way. Is there a worse way to start a game? You start 0-2, you battle back, you hammer one to left field, and Johnny Damon snow cones it into the MasterCard sign out in left field. So the good thing there is Johnny Damon got his body in a position where, being a left-hander, you know, he got full extension there, came up with the ball.
Aaron Hill fouls it back.
Play, we've talked about how easy it looks in slow motion, but you see that glove, he hit the end of it, just barely kind of snow coned it, but it's in Michael's book over here as an F7 at this point.
That's right. It could have been a double. Good breaking ball, moving away from the swing, in the count 0-2.
What's it in your book?
I'm chapped right now because I'm 0 for 1 and he made a great play. Like I said, you always want to get off to a good start. Chopper get off to a good start there with a good slider on the outside corner.
And the 0-2. Rounded to short. Jeter's right there. 2 away. New York Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward.
Probably gets 2 quick outs. Always a good sign for him to get through this first inning without burning a lot of pitches. It almost sets up his outing where he can start going after guys, if he needs to, for strikeouts later. Save some of those bullets.
Here's Adam Lind. Off-speed pitch for a strike.
Well, in the first inning has been a bugaboo for Java this year. He's given up 13 runs in the 20 and a third innings he's started. Over a 5 ERA, first inning ERA.
He really is ready to pitch. He's just waiting for the guys to get in the box. 1-1. 2-1. Joe Girardi getting tight with his pitchers there. Guys pitched well against Boston. I expect more of the same the rest of the year.
We gave up some runs last night. Now, boys, throw your zeros out there next time.
And the 3-1. Strike. 3-2. Tonight's closed captioning is brought to you by your local Lexus dealers. And the 3-2. Grounded right side and past a diving Cano into right field for a base hit. So Adam Lind with a 2-out single.
A couple guys in this lineup, Adam Lind, Aaron Hill, they're still pretty good players, good hitters. And gets in a fastball count. First inning, Java challenges him. Bobby full out, just can't come up with it.
Got to bring up Overbay. His home run, the difference in yesterday's game, broke a 4-4 tie, and that's the way it ended, 5-4. Pitch outside.
Once in a while, you see one of those home runs that kind of, you kind of raise your eyebrows and go, wow, that guy's got big pop. And yesterday was one of those home runs. Overbay hit the back wall, the sharper image sign out there, which I haven't seen hit in batting practice or a game yet. So.
There's a strike. And that's something that's missing from Overbay's game this year is the home run.
See, that's over the bullpen off the sign. Now, that used to kind of raise your attention as a pitcher when, you're going to give up home runs, but, when it's in the first row, did it make a difference with the guy hitting 500 feet?
Oh, wow. I'd rather give up 500 footers.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Proud about those?
Yeah. So, there was nothing about it. You knew it was a home run. The little wall burner, right, just barely going over. That's the...
So you'd rather get blown out 15-0 than lose 2-1?
No, I'd rather give up a home run middle of the bleachers than just one going over the wall.
Right.
I'd rather give up a rocket single than a broken bat single.
Those hard throwers feel like they were part of that distance.
No, just then it wasn't a cheapie. It was a mistake. I guarantee it was a mistake to hit it that far. And they deserved it.
2-1. Fouled away.
What felt better, a line drive out that Johnny Damon just grabbed, or a broken bat single?
Well, it looks better on the baseball card. A broken bat single, yeah. Nobody wants to hear how many that you hit hard and got caught, believe me.
And the 2-2. Swung on and missed. He got it. Strong first inning for Java Chandler. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Well, Overbay strikes out to end it, and John Rodriguez. Hideki Matsui is going to DH. He'll bat in the number 5 hole. Batting 6th and catching Jorge Posada. Robinson Cano has an 8-game hitting streak. During which time he's hitting .429. The second baseman will bat 7. Batting 8th and playing right field, Eric Hinsky, and Melky Cabrera will play center field. He's going to bat 9.
And on the mound, the right-hander Scott Richmond. See his record: 17 games, 6-6, very respectable. From Vancouver, British Columbia, let's take a look at the Toronto Blue Jays pitcher scatter report, brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. Dock worker. He was a dock worker in Vancouver after high school for 3 years. Played with Ryan Dempster, Justin Morneau, Jeff Francis. A few guys came out of there, signed out of it independently. Not right. He's allowed 12 home runs to left-handed batters, 4th most among American League pitchers, and finished healthy. He was missed the month of July with right shoulder tendonitis. Coming off his last start against Oakland, didn't do very well.
Derek Jeter starts off the inning with a single. Extends his hitting streak to 7 straight. He had 3 hits yesterday and picks up a leadoff single here in the first.
You see Jeet, he comes off the bench swinging, which he usually does. Fastball the way, centers it, keeps it up the middle. Jeet is a leadoff hitter. You know, you want leadoff hitters to see a lot of pitches, but I mean, you don't want to take him away from what he does best, and that's being an aggressive hitter. I mean, he's not afraid to go up, swing at the first pitch, get things going, and if he doesn't get into that pull mode where he uses the whole field, I mean, why do you need to take a bunch of pitches? He'll spray the ball all over.
Johnny Damon rips one foul. What Damon's done the last 10 games: 349, 4 homers, 8 ribbies. Pinch hit yesterday and grounded softly to first base. Pinch hitting in the 8th inning for Jerry Hairston Jr. Well, there was some talking about whether Jeter should be the leadoff batter this year. You know, they flip-flopped he and Damon. Well, Jeter's hitting 343 in the first inning so far this season. He's done a good job, and Damon's been great in the number 2 hole. So it was debated, and it looks like it's a move that's paid off for both. 1-1. Line drive, deep base hit down the right field line. Putting into the corner is England. They'll play it in the corner. Jeter goes to third. Damon's at second with a double, and the Yankees are set up.
Again, Mitch Richmond comes, or Richmond gets out of the bullpen, doesn't know what kind of stuff he has. Jeet lines one up the middle. Johnny Damon lines one down the right field line. All of a sudden, there's pressure. It's their first inning. Your feet aren't even on the ground yet.
Great story involving Whitey Ford and Yogi Berra. Whitey Ford threw 4 pitches in a game: a single, a double, a triple, and a home run. Casey Stengel came out to the mound and asked Yogi, what does he have? There's a hot shot and past Hill into right field. Jeter will score. Damon will move to third, and Teixeira's on first. We'll see how they score. Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
Well, this is a hot smash right here. Paul mentioned they're jumping early, not just fastballs. That's another slider. That just ate up Aaron Hill. Pretty good second baseman. Let's see if he just outpowered him. See, trying to get to the side there. He ended up ruling it a hit.
Anyway, Casey Stengel, the Yankee manager, comes out and asks Yogi Berra on the mound, well, what type of stuff does he have? Yogi said, I don't know, I haven't caught anything yet. So Rod Barajas is feeling that way as well. I think he's caught 1 pitch. Because Damon, I just took the second pitch. He lined up, took the second pitch, and then got a hit. Here's Alex Rodriguez. Pitch is high.
Well, similar approach last night with Mark Zepchinski, the Blue Jays starting pitcher, the rookie. Started out quickly, down 1-0 with Derek Jeter's home run.
There's a strike.
And Paul, is that part of the scout report that goes into Kevin Long and knowing the pitcher as to whether there's strikes and overpowering? You want to work them? Is this certain pitchers will get ahead, not lay pitches in there, but is that part of the element as to whether you be more aggressive or stay in your game?
I mean, if you've got a guy who's around the plate, you're going to go up aggressively. If you got a guy that walks a lot, obviously you'll sit back and then let him dig a big enough hole for himself. So a veteran team, I think it's very important for teams to come in here and throw strikes. I mean, if you try to pitch around guys in the Yankee lineup, you're just going to continue to be in bad counts and walk people until they put up big numbers.
Swing and a miss. You just impressed me, Al, because I thought that after Zipchinski left him out yesterday, you wouldn't say his name again all year.
I was about the same thing. To throw that out of the night after?
Yeah, didn't have to. Didn't have to. And pulled it out of his hat. That was unbelievable.
I'll tell you what, I knew
Zipchinski.
you were. Yeah, whatever.
The 2-2. Breaking ball, strike 3. Alex Rodriguez down looking. So Richmond finally gets an out.
Alex Rodriguez, after Richmond's given up a few hits, he gets up, gets behind, but there he comes back with a slider. Well, fastballs in. That's the pitch Alex could have handled. All of a sudden, got a little big bit. I mean, I don't know if he's throwing 2 depths to that slider, but that kind of almost was a curveball there, right on the outside corner.
That was a curveball. That was his first curveball of the night, and it's a very good one. See the 12-6, the rotation from the 12 o'clock hand down to 6 o'clock.
See the release on that pitch. He had his throw that knuckle curve. If we can see that again, you'll see that's almost a la Mike Mussina back in the day. And I think Burnett actually throws his curveball that way.
Curveball.
Matsui swings and misses.
And you can't see this as a hitter very often, but you'll see right that knuckle up on the ball. Allows that pitcher to really pull the seam down. Get that good breaker.
What he does against Toronto this season, 455. Rip foul.
The big at bats, how you as a pitcher, you think if any way I could try to save that run, and Matsui's trying to throw a big number up in the first inning. Definitely a pitch that you try to get a strikeout with a man on third base, try to keep the ball in the infield.
Well, especially after the big strikeout of Alex Rodriguez, you're right. Usually with the runner at third, you're almost conceding that run, especially early on.
Swing and a miss. Gets Matsui for the second out.
That's the same pitch that Alex Rodriguez got locked up on. See that great rotation, ended up being hitting the backside of the plate. Nice play by Barajas. See his index finger be slightly up, not as much as Mike Mussina or AJ Burnett, but it enables him to get on top of that ball and just basically spike it right in the dirt. The pitcher's ahead 0-2, 1-2. That's generally what pitchers try to do, to expand breaking balls in the dirt or elevate with a high fastball.
What's funny is he came out in the first inning and was throwing a lot of fastballs and a couple sliders, and had some balls hit hard, and all of a sudden it seems like he's found that curveball. He's got 2 big strikeouts with it.
Here's Jorge Posada, 7 for his last 18, 8 for his last 20, hitting .280 overall. Still runners on the corners, now 2 outs. Yankees lead 1-0. And now it is driven deep to right center field. Giving chase England. That ball's going to be off the wall. Scoring is Damon. Teixeira rounds third. Here comes Teixeira. Here's the throw. He's out. Boy, they waved him. And the cutoff man had the ball when Teixeira hit third base. He was out by about 30 feet. But Posada gets an RBI. The Yankees have a 2-0 lead. And well executed, Hill turns and fires to Barajas, and Teixeira is a dead duck. 2-0. On Russ, brought to you by Toyota. Do you think there will ever be another larger-than-life living legend of baseball like Babe Ruth? What do you think? Go to my9tv.com to blog or email us a video with your thoughts. It's Take on Russ, brought to you by Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward. That was scored a double for Posada, an RBI, and Teixeira's out 8-4-2. Robbie Thompson, the Yankee third base coach, is a gambler, and he does send people, but that didn't even seem like a gamble. That seemed ill-advised because he was out by so much.
Well, and also, too, you have Scott Richmond, their pitcher, that's scrambling early on. And I always thought that was a big helpful scenario where you give it up, especially you are able to walk off the field as a pitcher on a rocket off the right center field wall. You know, let him work, even if it was just 3 or 4 or 5 more pitches to Cano and there was an out. You know, just it would feel much more difficult to get out of there.
Vernon Wells takes a pitch outside, now 2-0.
I think consistency is the big thing. I mean, and Robbie is very aggressive, and as runners, you know that. And you know, I think you'll steal more runs making outs at the plate than you'll give up. You know, a lot of exchange problems, bad short hops. I mean, if he short hops this, you never know. And Teixeira obviously not the speediest guy. Another foot or so, and that ball goes off the chest protector. But over the course of the year, the more times that you gamble against the defense, I think you'll steal more runs.
I agree, and I think the aggressive, you don't want to take away that. If that's his MO, Robbie Thompson, third base coach, that's fine. I mean, that you mentioned as being consistent. I just know as the pitcher there, you are so grateful that you're able to walk off the field at the end.
Vernon Wells with a high fly ball. And Melky Cabrera puts it away.
You know, that trivia question is an interesting thought. What do you think, Michael? I mean, the baseball's in a different area. They're definitely superstars, but will there ever be a beloved one like Babe Ruth is? No, was it just the time?
I think the timing was perfect coming away from the Black Sox scandal, the Great Depression, all of that. You know, the country was down, and I think he was larger than life. I just don't think that could happen again.
Never. How about just allow him to be Babe Ruth? Eat hot dogs, have a beer, and not worry about blogs and websites that are trying to bring down their stars and their heroes. Never.
Yeah, Babe would have been on YouTube a lot. Here's the kid, Randy Ruiz. Look at his numbers at AAA. 320, 42 doubles, 25 homers, 106 runs batted in, 70 extra base hits. And he does tend to strike out, so he strikes out against Java.
Well, we saw 3 pitches in his first big league at bat. So,
how about 96 down and away, cutting?
There's always that anxious moment to get up there and make things happen. And again, you have to go back to swinging at strikes first. Then you got to try to get a little bit of matchup where Java's not throwing 96 on the outside corner. Wow. You see his breaking ball tonight, guys just waving at it. And again, you go back to guys that have great breaking balls, and they're usually the guys with good arm speeds that have good fastballs. I mean, it's just, they go hand in hand. And then tonight, Java's, you see a lot of swings at that breaking ball out of the strike zone.
The 0-2. Slow roller toward third. Alex Rodriguez there, and an easy 1-2-3 on 11 pitches for Java Chamberlain. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Yankees lead 2-0. You're watching Yankees baseball on My 9. cafe coffees made with fresh ground espresso now at McDonald's. Nice smile here at the ballpark. Thought to smile about lately if you're a Yankee fan. Winning 7 out of 8 in first place. There's Robinson Cano with the Yankees up 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the second. Cano has an 8-game hitting streak. And there's a strike. During that streak, hitting .429. That one's drilled down the right field line. Fair ball, it's trouble. It is a foul ball. When a hitter hits a ball like that and it goes foul, you think that's my chance. You know, that's about as well as I'm going to hit it.
You know what? It is a natural thing to think, you know, you get 1 or 2 pitches at bat, and I just missed one. I drilled it down the line, and I tell you, you just hold your breath as soon as you hit that ball because you know it's going to be close. Such a disappointment, believe me, when it hits a foot foul.
Yeah.
Feel my pain, huh?
No, I'll tell you, Michael, as a pitcher, you're saying, okay, I didn't see the location there, but if it was a mistake, you feel like, okay, I'm going to make a better pitch here. I got lucky there.
And the 0-2 foul ball.
Showed those numbers on Robinson Cano last night was a perfect example. Here's the location on the slider coming in. Oh, pretty good pitch. For Robbie to keep that close to being fair, he's got to pull his hands in and then drive the ball.
You see that angle he ran out of the box? That's what you do as a hitter to try to steer that thing foul. You try to, I know it doesn't help, but you try to run at an angle to steer it foul.
Now this one he steers fair. Another one right down the line, and Cano will get himself a double, and he has a 9-game hitting streak. He is on fire right now.
I'll tell you what, if you've watched the games lately, Michael and I, we were talking about it last night on how you just feel that this guy could be a 340, 350 hitter. I mean, he can do so many things, and he fought off some tough pitches. This is a good pitch. 2 strikes right in on his hands.
Belt.
But he stays closed, and he's quick enough to keep the ball fair. Didn't hook that one foul. Just does so many things well as a hitter that it's hard to think of a consistent way to get him out.
Coverage. This happened last night where he pulled the ball on the inside part of the plate, ended up hitting a home run. Then his next at bat, they went away, and he drove the ball to left field. That's why we just showed those numbers earlier, how hot he's been. What's this? Oh, balk.
Oh, balk. Paul Maurer.
See, Richmond thing, we had timeout. Umpire said we didn't have timeout.
Oh, yeah, he started and stopped. Can't do that unless he stepped off the rubber. Pitcher's rubber.
Gaston he got thrown out in the 3rd inning last night early for just asking about a ball and a strike. He's got a gunshot tonight.
Eric Hinske takes strike. Now the Blue Jays have the infield in on the right side. They have the 3rd baseman in, and Scudero was kind of halfway, hedging his bet. Hinske was almost a hero on Friday night, but an unbelievable play in the 14th inning by J.D. Drew kept him from getting a pie in the face.
I'll tell you what, that in the situation there where, you know, a base hit beats you, that's one of the better plays I've seen this year. And J.D. Drew, I don't know, you'll ask him, but sometimes as an outfielder you get in a position and you all out lunge, and you know, whether you catch the ball or the ball actually catches you, you know, it's kind of a question because you lose sight of it. Take a look at it here. I mean, get him on the line. Hinske hit a and you just absolutely lunge and you feel that ball go into your glove and you're like, wow, how'd that happen? Hinske's asking the same thing.
Hinske swings and misses. And you know what Hinske's big problem was with that? He said, listen, the guy made a great play. He goes, but why was he playing so deep?
Oh.
He said the winning run is on second base. Why would you be that deep? He didn't understand.
Well, he's a big guy that drives the ball. So as a right fielder, you got to figure that, you know, you give yourself a chance. Left-handed, got to play a little bit deeper. But I tell you, Richmond so far.
Speaking of the Red Sox, Tigers jump out to a 3-0 lead. Now here's Melky Cabrera. It's his birthday today. 25 years old. Pitch is high. Weird thing that Melky seems like he's been here forever, and he's just 25 years old.
Seems real young now. 25?
35 seems real young. The 1-0. High fly ball center field. Cano's going to tag. Wells in position, makes the catch. Here's the throw. Not in time. Cano scores sac fly for Cabrera on his birthday. Yankees have a 3-0 lead.
Simple things. If you're Richmond, I mean, you get the good strikeout, but then, you know, you step off, you balk, you get a guy to third base, and it ends up costing you a run. Yeah. You know, he's had more success with that curveball for strikeouts. You know, if you got to pitch up in the zone, as hitters will do with the man on third base. Anything up in the zone is a good pitch to swing at with a man on third base. It allows you to fly out, drive that run in.
Well, pitcher's more than just a guy who's standing on the middle of the mound there and throwing the ball. Last night we saw it with Sergio Mitre. Had an opportunity to get out of the inning, threw the ball away from Robinson Cano. Cost him a couple runs, an unearned run.
A 1-0. Jeter could not hold up. 1-1.
Go back to Sergio Mitre last night, and the more you think about it, is you're kind of confused on how he looks so good against hitters, and then he gets in trouble. But you do have to remember that, you know, he's just off of surgery. I mean, and this guy at times he's dominant.
Another base hit for Derek Jeter. He's 2 for 2.
And Jeets seems to be getting on one of those rolls where he covers that ball away, looks away, looks up the middle. That's when he's at his best.
It's his 48th multi-hit game, and he's got it out of the way in the second inning. Pitch inside to Johnny Damon.
Would you agree with me, Al, about Mitre? I mean, you have to have some kind of patience with a guy that you know, had major arm surgery.
Last July.
Yeah.
You know, many instances, it's a good year and a half you see for the Tommy John surgery recovery.
Jimmy deep right center field. Giving Chase Inglet on the run. He can't get there, and it bounces into the Yankee bullpen for a double. That's a tough break for the Yankees, because they'll send Jeter back to third. So Damon in 2 innings has 2 doubles.
Every once in a while you see a rule that you think might want to be changed in baseball, and this is one of them. I mean, don't you think the umpire should have a decision? I mean, Derek Jeter's going to score on this ball, and it bounces out of the ballpark, and it ends up saving you as a pitcher over there a run. And it used to happen a lot more in the National League with AstroTurf fields. Everything would bounce out of the ballpark. But this ball right here, I mean, with Derek Jeter's speed, he's going to score.
No, I'm perfectly okay with that ball.
Michael, you're going to have to get in the middle here tonight, man. I got a pitcher.
No, now you're going to be deciding on an umpire at second base as to whether he thought Derek Jeter or runner A would score or not.
They do it on the ball, and you know, the ball hooks down the line in the stands. Right?
2 bases.
Yeah, but that I understand, because if somebody reaches over, then that's an unfair disadvantage. But the ballpark plays it into a double. I'm sorry, Paul, I have to agree with that.
It's 2-1 here. I need some numbers for some people to help me. Where's Flash and Coney? Maybe go back.
No, Coney won't.
Oh, that's right.
You got to bring a hitter in here.
Well, Brett Arnsberg has a discussion with Scott Richmond. Goes back to the dugout. Here's Mark Teixeira, picked up an RBI single in the first inning. The Yankees are up 3-0. Blocked there by Barajas. You know, we mentioned that Cito was thrown out in the third inning yesterday, and I guess in the fourth inning we said really nice things about Brian Butterfield. And I got a text from him this morning. He was watching the replay of the game. He goes, "What do I owe you guys?"
You know, the funny thing is, I walked out on the field today, and Charlie Wansowitz comes up. He said, "You know, I can appreciate it because I was there. I remember that." And you know, it was, you know, those are just fun old memories.
Charlie obviously was talking about when Brian ran through the Boston clubhouse with a Patriot helmet on and jockstrap.
And not much else.
Right.
Yeah, let's leave it there. This is television. You can We don't have to paint pictures, huh?
Butter said his sister called in the morning, was watching the game, and she was laughing.
He's laughing, see? He's got a bug in his ear.
Great guy.
Was he in the system when you came up through the system?
My first year with the Oneonta Yankees, he was one of the coaches. J.P. Ricciardi was one of the coaches.
2-1 to Teixeira. Outside, 3-1 on deck is Alex Rodriguez.
J.P. Ricciardi, the general manager for the Toronto Blue Jays.
A 3-1. And now the bases are loaded for Alex Rodriguez.
Now you look at this matchup in Richmond, it just, other than a couple real good curveballs where he got strikeouts, you just look at, he's below on his fastball, he's below on his slider, and it just does not look like a matchup. You know, it just looks like the Yankees are going to wait it out until they throw up a big number.
Well, he's got 3 curveballs, and they've been all based on the curveball. 3 strikeouts, all on curveballs. And you're right. So far, the Yankee hitters, especially the right-handers, Jeter's shown that stay on that slider. Right now, his fastball is not enough to get by these guys.
Full windup for Richmond. He can go from the stretch, but he's electing to wind up. And here's Alex. Pitch is high. Now the Blue Jays are not throwing Richmond a lifeline. They have no one up in their bullpen. And you can see Brad Orangeburger's little chap yelling out to the mound. As Richmond is certainly not executing his pitches. 3-0. Yankees threatening to open this up right here in the second. Richmond deals. A-Rod's trying to make it 7-0. He has 17 grand slams in his career.
Not enough right there to get it by Alex. 94. That might have been his best fastball so far.
Look at Alex Rodriguez, and he's the one guy that really isn't hot. He's hit a couple big home runs in the Boston series, but you know, you see Jeet, you see Cano, Teixeira. I mean, those guys are hot, and this offense is only going to get better when Alex Rodriguez gets hot.
That one is popped up, sky high pop up to short right center field. Brennan Wells calls off England, makes the play. So Richmond escapes relatively unscathed. 1 run, 3 hits, and the bases are left loaded. We go to the third. It's 3. Yankees baseball on My 9 is brought to you in part by Acura. Acura Advance. Capital One Bank. What's in your wallet? And by BP. Try BP gasoline with Invigorate. We go to the third inning, and Java Chamberlain and the Yankees have a 3-0 lead. Rod Barajas digs in, and Chamberlain deals. There's a breaking ball strike. The Infinity scoreboard, 3-7-0. Yankees 0-1-0. Blue Jays. Now, Paul, I just want to warn you that you have to step up your game this inning.
This inning
This
only?
inning. Because Al decided to have himself a treat, Juji fruit, which means you can't speak.
I was going to say, the stuff's in your teeth the rest of the game now. Don't look at me when you speak now.
I polished off 2 of them. You didn't know it.
And the 0-2 outside, 1-2. Java looks so much more in command. His stuff is sharp, crisp. He's hitting corners than he did in the 5 innings against the Red Sox. Now, you wonder, did he not have the best command because he had extra rest? Because they saved him for that Red Sox game? High pop-up. Alex Rodriguez. 1 out.
Well, stuff-wise, was he about the same, Michael? Was he?
Stuff-wise was pretty good, but again, he didn't seem like he could guide it where he needed it to have to end up, and it cost him. He walked 7 batters. That's a career high in 5 innings. So,
well, it was on 8 days rest. He threw the 8 innings, 3 hits, no runs against Tampa.
Well, what is the 8 days? Tell me, what is the 8 days rest?
You know what? More than anything else, I could tell you as I got older, I didn't mind it at all. I could use the extra day or 2, but it messes up your routine a little bit. We are starting pitchers or creatures of habit. Everyday players are.
Michael, you're weird. You're just a little weird. But go ahead with your story. No, that's. Put a little asterisk, right? Go ahead, finish your story.
All right. You can put the little weird thing somewhere in there, but it's routine, and you have to have a routine. To be consistent on the mound, you have to have a consistent routine in between your starts.
So if you know you're going to have 8 days rest, what do you do then?
You would get a couple extra cardio days. What I would do, I would get 2 side days.
And he did.
Yeah. So, but it's different from your routine. And if you're locked in as he was after the All-Star break, it could have altered a little bit. So your point, I think, is well taken. That maybe that had something to do with it. Also, feeling stronger doesn't always equate with added velocity. Normally does, but and if you told me that his stuff, because I didn't do the game, he had greater velocity, well then he was overthrown.
I don't think he had greater veloccy. He had decent stuff. Okay. It wasn't a drop in velocity. It was about, right, Paul, 93,
yeah, but
94?
you can tell even before the 5th inning, before the big, the long wait, it was a struggle for him. It just wasn't one of those nights out that you went out with your great stuff and everything worked well. Tonight, I think he's following in the footsteps of the guys that he's trying to emulate, and Pettit, Burnett. Threw up 0. CC Sabathia had great starts, and as a pitcher, you want to hold up your end of the bargain, and I think tonight's the night that he's going to try to do that.
Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealers. We'll take a look at the American League first. Baltimore 1-0 over Oakland, bottom of the 3rd. Texas and Cleveland, no score, top of the 3rd. Detroit 3-0 over Boston, bottom of the 2nd. Tampa Bay and the Angels a little bit later on. Washington and Atlanta 1-1, top of the 3rd. Houston 1-0 over Florida, bottom of the 3rd. Philadelphia at the Cubs 8:05, and the Mets at Arizona 9:40. And the pitch is high.
Part of the command, Michael, of the first 8 batters. Joe Inglet was his first batter. He got behind, ultimately walking him there, but he threw first pitch strikes. Of the first pitch strikes, 4 of them were fastballs, 2 were sliders, and 2 were curves. Get that combination of getting ahead, strike 1, but not only just pounding the strike zone with his fastball, he was able to do it with all his pitches up until Joe Inglet's walk.
Now, Jabba's had 11 starts this year where he's had 5 or more days of rest, and he's 4-2 with a 3.53, so it doesn't seem as if it's adversely affected him. The 1-0. Now, one thing that we did notice, the 4th inning, bottom of the 4th inning, Yankees scored a lot of runs there for 34 minutes offensively. And he came out, and he was completely a different pitcher. First 8 pitches out of his hands were well out of the zone. How does a pitcher counteract that, Al?
Well, it's not the norm anytime you get a big rest. And even though in that case the Yankees were hitting and there was a lot of offense related to it, you don't mind it. But then I always thought about, we're watching Jabba. He's getting on the mound. Well, here you see Jorge coming out, seeing something overthrown. These are the first couple batters that he's got behind. Is that you get out there quickly after a long inning and you try to establish maybe a couple extra throws before that inning starts because of the 30-some-plus minute delay. This is a good visit right here by Jorge, slowing him down, getting him back into his rhythm.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Well, we gave you the score that Detroit leads Boston 3-0, and there is a huge brawl at Fenway Park between those two teams. where Kevin Youkilis of the Red Sox actually in a full run tackled the youngster Rick Porcello from Seton Hall Prep. The last couple of the games, last night's and this one, a little chippy between these two teams, with a lot of batters getting hit. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if there's anybody thrown out of that game.
Yeah, we were watching the highlights, and it just wasn't one. I mean, it started last night, and then today it went into, a couple guys getting hit, and Youkilis has been one of those guys that teams keep coming after, and, after a while you've had enough.
I think that Leland and the pitching coach of the Red Sox, John Farrell, have been thrown out of that game. The 2-2 runner goes, fouled away. And from what we saw of highlights, that wasn't your typical baseball brawl. I mean, Youkilis really tore into Porcello, and they kind of rolling around on the ground. It's kind of almost like a wrestling takedown. The 2-2. Line drive, base hit to left field, so Marco Scutaro picks up a single. Hey, tomorrow on the Yes Network, the Yankees close out this series with the Blue Jays. Now, coverage will start at 12:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then after the postgame, don't miss Yankees on Deck for a personal tour of Robinson Cano's hometown. It all starts tomorrow at 12:30, only on Yes. Well, matinee.
Right, I don't think I've done a day game. You still got the same energy in a day game? You all right?
Tremendous.
Yeah?
Excellent in the daytime.
Wake up early, Freddie, right to go?
Good for you. What a morning guy. You?
Not real early morning, no.
Here's Aaron Hill. And there's a strike from Chamberlain. Along with Paul O'Neill and Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball here on My 9, and we thank you for spending part of your Tuesday evening with us. It's Yankees 3, Blue Jays nothing, top of the third. Runner in scoring position here against Java. Opponents are 1 for their last 20 in those situations against Chamberlain. It's a good breaking ball, 0-2.
Well, unlike the last two batters, Michael, he's gotten ahead here with Aaron Hill. And as you just said with this slider, he's got the hard breaking ball and slow. Paul will attest to this as a hitter. If you get in a defensive count 0-1, now 0-2, it's awful tough, especially against a guy like Java who's got that plus out pitch from the curveball or slider.
See one hit in the last 20 at bats. A lot of pitchers go to what they're really comfortable as a strikeout pitch in big situations, men in scoring. Java loves his breaking ball, and in these situations, he seems like he goes to it even more.
Now, Aaron Hill's a little different hitter. He's very similar as a two-strike approach. Your typical two-hole hitter, shorten everything up and now look to go right center field.
Now the count 2-2 as Posada goes out and talks with Chamberlain.
Trying to get fired up there. I don't know whether that's a change the sign visit or making sure that they're on the same page.
So Java rolling along till he walks the number 9 hitter Inglet, and then Scutaro follows with a single. First and second now, 1 out, 2-2 count on Aaron Hill. And the pitch. Grounded left side, fielded by A-Rod. He flips to second for 1. That's all they'll get. That's a dangerous play because it has no oomph behind it, and it takes a long time to get to Cano, but they did get the force on Scutaro.
You're right, Michael, but as a third baseman, you see you're moving so far to your left to make this play. It's hard to open up. He continues to run with it. Long little shovel pass there.
Ideal if he could have spun around. You'll see an infielder actually spin so that he could get close. He also bobbled a little bit. Ooh.
Close play at second.
Yes, it was. Eddie Rapalwana, second base umpire.
Here's Adam Lind, a very dangerous hitter. And the pitch is high. Count 2-0. Job wants to do baseball.
And these situations come out throughout the game, but the two out runners in scoring position, biggest outs in the game for both teams. Either you get back in the game, or Jabba gets an out here, and all of a sudden you still got that 3-0 lead.
Well, both Adam Lind in this lineup against Chamberlain, 4 for 8 coming into today's game. Adam Lind now 5 for 9 with a home run, and then on deck, Lyle Overbay, 429 batting average against. Job aware of that success, making sure he's making a good pitch here.
The 2-0. Missed. He wanted that one. The count 3-0. You have to be careful with Lynn. Cito Gaston might turn him loose on 3-0. He has 23 home runs. Number 3 hitter in the lineup. And he walked him on 4 pitches, and the bases are loaded. So Java looking so good over the first 2, now laboring. And Dave Island wants to do some reading. Monday nights this fall, they take down the worst criminals to hit New York City. It would be a crime to miss back-to-back episodes of Law and Order. Criminal Intent is one of TV's best dramas. Monday nights at 8 p.m. this fall on My 9.
Hear that music that went along with your read there? It's pretty good.
I like that.
Maybe set the scene for you. Yeah.
Here's Lyle Overbay with a strikeout. 55 pitches for Chamberlain. And he throws a breaking ball, lays it right in there. First pitch strike. Overbay struck out in the first. You see England at third, Aaron Hill at second, and Adam Lind is at first. Those are the tying runs on base. Yankees are leading 3-0. And the 0-1. 1-1. Time is called. Well, there's only one Yankee reliever that's unavailable today, and that would be Alfredo Aceves, who threw 4 scoreless innings out of the pen last night, the 1-1. Check swing. And the count 2-1.
Big pitch in this inning in this count with the 2-1, and right now Java looks like he's feeling better with his command of his all-speed pitches, curveball and slider. This is obviously a fastball count for most pitchers. Let's see if he goes again with the all-speed pitch. With the bases loaded, he doesn't want to go to 3-1.
Line drive. That is a base hit off the bat of Overbay. It's going to split the outfielders. It's going to go to the wall, and in all likelihood, it's going to tie the game. Here comes Lind. Here's the throw. Lind's in there. It's a bases clearing double for Overbay, and the game is tied at 3.
Well, we talked about it last night. Overbay, I mean, he got a fastball last night, and in a fastball count, he can do some things with it. Now, you said 2-1 fastball right down the middle. Great swing. Just drove it out into the gap. Perfect piece of hitting. 2 outs. Everybody was rolling.
Just watching how the inning is developed. Obviously leading off the inning, 1 out, walking Joe England on 5 pitches, and then having a 4-pitch walk to Lynn. All on fastballs. You just see he's kind of jerking his front side a little bit and missing enough. That ball was supposed to be on the outside part of the plate. Overbay getting that nice down and in middle of the plate fastball. Good transfer, just Lind out running the baseball.
Vernon Wells fouls it away, 1-1. He's thrown 30 pitches this inning, and he's at 61 overall, and another trip out to the mound by Posada. Ground ball short. Jeter charges. And he guts Wells for the final out of the third. But Java Chamberlain gives the lead back. They score 3 runs on 2 hits and 1 man left. We played 2.5. Yankees they were going to break it open in the second, but with the bases loaded, Alex Rodriguez, high pop up to right center field, caught by Vernon Wells, and then the Blue Jays answer with 3 in the top of the third. Matsui leads off against Richmond, who now has a second life to count 1-0. Red Sox have now tied up the Tigers. That game, ironically enough, also 3-3, like this one is. Jason Bay with a 3-run home run. Now, I had inadvertently or incorrectly said that John Farrell and Jim Leland were thrown out. I don't think they were. We know that Rick Porcello, the pitcher, was thrown out. But Farrell and Leland were nose-to-nose arguing in that game. That one's popped up. Encarnacion, 1 away. Monday night, the Giants preseason kicks off on My 9. The action starts at 7:30 with your first look at the new faces on this year's team. Then at 8, the Carolina Panthers come to town to officially get the preseason started. Giants, Panthers, it all starts Monday at 7:30 on My 9. Nice beat up Giants hat.
Old school MY.
Obviously, I'm from the Midwest. I think it's right. If you're a Yankee fan, you're a Giants fan.
Usually.
Is that the way it goes?
Met fans are Jet fans. But there are deviations.
How about if you liked all the teams? You allowed to do that here, Michael?
I don't think it really works.
There's no gray area around here. You don't like the Yankees and the Mets, so you can't like the Giants and the Jets, all right?
Michael and I have had our arguments about this. I don't want to go into it, but I think there are actually fans that could like more than one team.
Not about it.
Okay.
How could you like the Yankees and the Mets? How could you like the Jets and the Giants? How could you like the Knicks and the Nets?
I grew up a Tom Seaver fan, and I got drafted by the Yankees.
Well, because then it became a business.
I like the Yankees. I like Ron Guidry. I thought the 70s and that run.
Hey, we've already had one fight in baseball tonight. You guys going to go at it up here? Let's go. I like it. This is good. we're just talking about as a fan of baseball or football. I mean, the true bleeders of, a true bleeder Yankee fan cannot like any other team. All right.
See, it gives you that look, Paul.
No,
like we're wrong. Like
listen
we're
to me.
the crazy ones.
No, I'll agree with you, but I'm not agreeing with you.
There you go,
Michael.
You mean to tell me that this year, okay, it looks like if everything continues to go well, the Yankees are going to make the playoffs. And if everything continues to go the way it's going, the Mets are not going to make the playoffs. You mean to tell me that Met fans are going to be rooting for the Yankees in October? You mean to tell me that?
If I were 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 years old in that little window, yeah, I could do that. I don't know about as an adult.
That's weak.
Fan of the sport.
3-2. Swung on and missed, and Posada down on strikes.
And go back, this was a slider in on Georgie's hit. And again, if you're a left-handed hitter, you love the ball down and in. And as a pitcher, if you love the ball down and in, throw it down and in off the plate. And then it ended up out of the zone, and that's a good pitch from the righty.
Here's Cano. He picked up a double in the second inning.
We mentioned Richmond getting a new life here with the 3 runs that Javi gave up last inning. This is a guy and a staff as a whole. Brad Orangeburg, their pitching coach, they like to throw inside.
Soft ground ball to second base. Hill is there. And the Yankees are down 1-2-3 here in the third. We played 3 innings at Yankee Stadium. A lot of threes on the board. 3-3 Toronto and the Bombers on my 9. It's time for the Jeep trivia question. Jeep, turn your clunker into cash towards a new Jeep vehicle. See your participating Jeep dealer on the double for details. Derek Jeter has 255 career hits against the Blue Jays, second most all time. Which player is first? We'll find out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Could it be you, Paul?
No, I didn't hit well in Sky, though. I had that face out lighter in his heyday. Didn't like that.
I need a home run off me.
One, you got to give me a hit once in a while just to keep me in the lineup when you need an out.
Right.
Here's Randy Ruiz, who struck out on 3 pitches, called up today from AAA Las Vegas. And foul ball. And Randy is actually from this area. He went to James Monroe High School in the Bronx, which is right on Bruckner Boulevard, right around where I grew up.
Exciting day.
That one's driven down the right field line. Fair ball, it's trouble. It is off the foul pole. A home run for Randy Ruiz, and the Blue Jays take a 4-3 lead.
You almost wonder, he got a fastball the first pitch. You almost wonder if that was going to be the last one he saw on that at bat. And Java tried to sneak another fastball by him, and you know, as a hitter, you steer that ball, but boy, you feel so fortunate. That ball hits off the foul pole. He said this is a big day, being kind of the hometown guy, but what a way to break in and get into the new Yankee Stadium, see a fastball up. That's his second career home run, but first in the new Yankee Stadium, that's for sure.
Cat slicing, and hit off the screen. Java throws the head back. Encarnacion swings and misses, 2-1.
Oh, going pretty far up there on the pole.
Saw those numbers he threw in AAA. I mean, power wasn't one of his weaknesses. So,
Al, what's happened to Java after the first 2 innings?
I really think it's a command issue with his fastball in the zone. As to, you know, you can throw strikes with your fastball, but you're missing the spot. And now it's become more of a slider. There's a slider up in the zone, and Encarnacion just not able to pull the trigger on that. Watch this pitch here. Even 2 strikes. I mean, he's got that kind of arm speed where the ball just ends up. You see the little late break, and Encarnacion couldn't pull the trigger, but that ball's middle delta.
Really, that's not a bad pitch to hit as a hitter.
Yeah.
I mean, that ball's up in the zone. Doesn't have the real hard downward bite, just kind of almost backed up. So it's one of those pitches you get a strikeout just because of the speed of the ball. You know, they're taking the speed off with the slider. So.
You know, when you look at the look too, Michael, you had mentioned earlier, what's the location of this slider? Encarnacion is already spent, so he's looking fastball, middle of the plate.
Down it to Alex Rodriguez. And Barajas is down for the 7th.
Paul, how are you with a pitcher with his demeanor, disposition on the mound? You mentioned early in the first inning there, Mike, how he was getting on the mound, quickly getting his pitch, firing it, good tempo, throwing strikes. Now, when you start to labor a little bit, you kind of, hitters sense that.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And there are guys that just absolutely stare you down like, let's go, I'm going to get you out. And it's an uncomfortable feeling. And there are guys that kind of squirm out there, and you know they're struggling, and you dig a little deeper as a hitter. There's no doubt about it. There is a comfort level when the pitcher's in trouble, and they show that they're in trouble.
Inglett grounds it foul.
And it's hard to maintain that bravado by when you're not doing it. You know, it's a correlation with success, and whether as a pitcher you're making your pitches and you're getting outs, you feel good about it. You know, job, occasional fist pump. But if you're not feeling it, it's hard to back. You're just missing enough. Or you just back off, and you just got plenty of stuff, certainly, and it's about trusting your stuff, throwing it in there. See now, back-to-back breaking balls, he missed. That's okay. Instead of giving up on it after the previous one in the dirt. Fastball.
Count 2-2.
I just think that some players play better with emotion. Some players need to back off a little bit. I like to see when Java Chamberlain has emotion. I like to see when he's pumped up. I like to see it when Georgie runs out there and gets in his face, and I think that helps him. And there's no doubt about his stuff. It's just day in and day out the consistency of him doing what he needs to do.
He strikes out on the breaking ball, but the Blue Jays take the lead. Randy Ruiz, the kid from James Monroe High School in the Bronx, hit a home run that way, off the foul pole. The end of 3.5. It's 4-3 Jays. Find out after the pitch as Hinsky fouls it off. And the answer is Robin Yount, 263. Robin's done collected hits, so Garrett might catch him.
Collected a lot of them, too.
Collected his way right to the Hall of Fame. Count 1-1. Was he the first guy ever faced in the big leagues?
Paul Mahler.
Paul Mahler.
Yes.
And then Yount was later on in the inning.
Probably third or fourth, or maybe third.
And you struck him out, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
My first 6 outs.
I like it. Nothing wrong with that. Young fella throwing about 100.
You know the guys of that celebrity.
Definitely went around.
This is a weird at bat. At Hinsky, you see during batting practice, I mean, he was a former Blue Jay, still knows a lot of the players. This is strange, and you changed teams a few times. When you go back, it's strange to play against guys that you used to root for and then be on the same team with.
But Rookie of the Year with the Blue Jays, and he's been with a couple other clubs. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you play long enough, you're gonna have friends pretty much everywhere, or teammates. Especially obviously if you played more than one team. And nowadays, that's all you see. Most guys.
If you think the biggest change and the biggest change in my mind in baseball these days is everybody changing teams. And in the old days, guys played with the same organization their whole career.
Hinsky strikes out for the second time on similar pitches than what he struck out on in the second inning, so he's 0 for 2.
Good hard slider right here. Showing curveball and slider. Richmond kind of new life after getting this 1-run lead out of his hand. Now the slider's a little different. It's going to be more of a tighter spin and more from like the 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock angle.
Talk about time and stuff. A lot of the little kids are thinking, they've seen digital clocks their whole life. They don't understand the 12 to 6 curveball.
You're right. I wasn't thinking about that.
As you said, it's almost like a tale of two pitchers here. You see Java started out really dominant. There we go.
Okay, so his hand will come from around 2, and then go to 7.
See what they do when they mess with you in the truck. They don't leave the pictures up. They make you look stupid, like you're playing tic-tac-toe on the board there. There you go.
All right, I won't.
Now hold it.
But you
Freeze
get the idea.
Freeze it.
2 o'clock to 7.
And now Richmond's really dealing.
Again, I mean, back to your point now that it's kind of a tale of two pitchers where Java early in the game was dominant. Now he's kind of struggled. Well, Richmond, first inning was getting beat up all over the place. Now that he's found his breaking ball, he's found his slider, and he's found some confidence because he's looking at the scoreboard and he's seeing that, his team has brought him the lead.
Back to the top of the lineup, and Derek Jeter, 2 for 2. Count 1-0. Wow, look at that.
Hey, must have been a giveaway, right?
I think she bought that. You keep paying these people coming to the ballpark with that. It must be costly. Fought the other way, and if it's a fair ball, he's 3 for 3. Nope, it's a foul ball. I've always wondered what that felt like. Walking around the ballpark and you see somebody with your name on the back. Is it weird?
I'll tell you, the first things that I look back is the first time you see your baseball card. You think, wow, that is cool. When you hold your own baseball card. And then when you see somebody wear your jersey just because it was your jersey, it is. It's a neat feeling. We should probably, we haven't had anybody up in the booth. We should probably get her up and sign that jersey, huh? Cover it up. There we go. All right, I don't want it anymore. What she's going to do is tear that one off and just make it another Jeter jersey.
Jeter is out on the ground ball to short as the Yankees go down in order.
Oh, now we're texting.
Fame is so fleeting.
Come on up. We're going to sign that jersey.
We go
for
to
you
the fifth, 4-3 Toronto. authenticity. For more information and to purchase original Yankee Stadium seats and other memorabilia, visit Yankees.com today and click the Shop tab. Well, we go to the 5th inning, and Jabba will face the top of the order. And the first pitch is a strike. On the KFC scoreboard, it's 4-4-0 for Toronto and 3-7-0 for the Yanks. Count 1-1.
I mentioned about Marco Scudero having a career year. He's going to be a free agent. You look at this Blue Jay team, we haven't really mentioned Alex Rios is a guy that was basically let go and given away to the White Sox, albeit they picked up his contract. Scott Rowland was traded not too long ago. Rowland was having a great year. Not knowing where this organization's going, I mean, it was such a great story past and how much they've won. And here's J.P. Ricciardi, general manager, thinking about where this team is. They're teetering on, is it a rebuilding? What's going to happen with Halladay?
Or if their fan base has gotten bigger since Montreal is out of Canada. And back in 93, 94, I mean, it was sold out every day out there. And then
Paul, I was up there. We had a reunion of the 92, 93, and I thought there would have been a bigger crowd on a Friday night. They had all the great players that went through there: Roberto Alomar, Joe Carter, many others. And it wasn't that big of a crowd.
Grounded softly to third. Nice hop for Alex Rodriguez, and he gets Scudero for the first out.
And they say, they're starving for a winner. The Raptors haven't done anything. The beloved Maple Leafs. You see Alex coming in hard. Scudero can run. Alex aware of the runner, knowing that. Good strong throw.
I think what might be affected, Paul, is they might have a bigger television audience because it's all around Canada. But in terms of people coming to the game, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, the Rogers cable, it's comparable, I guess, what, CNN or something that big?
I don't know. It's
coast to
across
coast.
the country, yeah.
that was a place a lot like Jacobs Field in Cleveland that was guaranteed sellouts every single night. But then in I think the strike of '94, they never came back, and that was one venue that the fans just have not come back.
Well, you made a good point last night. We talked about the letdown after the 4-game sweep of the Red Sox, and would the Yankees be let down? And I don't think so. I think there's a plenty of veteran group here that knows their mission of winning, getting to the playoffs, winning a championship. And you had mentioned last night how it's always a sellout, which is a great point, because many instances, once upon a time, you'd have a big series, maybe sell out or close to it, and then another team comes in, and certainly a team down on the bottom, as the Blue Jays are, and you may go from the 40 or 50 down to 20.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not the case here.
Right.
The energy is always alive here because of the 40,000, 50,000.
And if you're playing well at home, the energy is always going to follow here in New York. There's no doubt about it.
And I could tell you, just having been part of that little run with the Blue Jays, it was exciting, because that wasn't a time in baseball where people were getting 40, 50,000 a night, and they were up there.
Jabba's pitch count getting up there, and the throw over, chasing Hill back. (4-3) Blue Jays lead the Yankees. They won last night's game 5-4. Adam Lind 1-for-1 with a walk and a run scored. A strike.
Talking about core players, Adam Lind and Aaron Hill are absolutely part of their future as they move forward, trying to figure out where they'll settle in as far as the winter. Well, they part back a lot of payroll and get rid of Rios.
Foul back.
You mentioned last night, Paul, that you were surprised that Roy Halladay is still a Blue Jay uniform. I'm a bit surprised too. I would think if that is their plan, you would think they would get more now because a team would have him for a year and a half, Roy Halladay, than for either a year or even less if they go into next year.
The 0-2, foul back.
Now, every once in a while, after the so-called trading deadline, people do go through. But a guy of his stature, it wouldn't happen, right, Mike?
Halladay, no. I don't think he would get through because I think someone would be willing to assume his contract.
No question about it. He's not making that kind of money, and it's not that long term. He's paid through next year. He's one of the top 5 pitchers in the game.
Oh, absolutely.
He might be the best. And the 0-2. High pop-up. Jeter's there for the second out.
No, I had a question brought to me today, and I didn't know how to answer. I didn't know the answer to this, and it's about the waivers. Rios was claimed on waivers. Now, is there an order where the teams go through in order to claim him?
Yes.
From worst record to best.
In your league, if it goes through your whole league, then it goes to the worst. In this case, it would go to the American League all the way up through, and then it would go to the National League.
Okay.
And once he's claimed, then the club could say, no, we'll keep him, let's work a deal. There's a 48-hour window. Or they say, fine, here, take him.
Which the lesser teams never do, so it's always late in the waivers because it's the team that are, the better teams.
Or to block a trade.
Sure.
If you remember the Randy Myers, when he was blocked by...
Can more than one team claim him, or is it just one team only?
One team only. Whoever the worst record, and then if they pass, then here comes the next. Right on up to who's got the best record in the league.
Pitch is a strike. And once you pass through waivers, then the team happens to be free to trade you anywhere they want. But if somebody claims you, you have 3 things you could do. You could pull the player back, you could trade the player to the team, work out a deal, or you could just let the team have him, which is exactly what the White Sox did. And the 1-1. I thought that would happen with the White Sox. I don't think that's good for baseball. You give up a 28-year-old player, see this nasty breaking ball, in the prime of his career with 5 years left on his contract. You gave him up for nothing. And J.P. Ricciardi was saying, well, it's not a salary dump. It's just giving us financial flexibility. Well, it looks like a salary dump to me.
Yeah, you almost tell them to just, here, give us a player. Yeah. A player to be named later, anything.
Put lipstick on the pig. I mean, make it look better.
I like that one, Mike.
There's a ground ball into Teixeira, steps on the bag, and that's going to do it here in the 5th. No runs a hit, and 1 man left. We're halfway through. Yankees down by 1. On my 9. Johnny Damon leads off, and there's a breaking ball strike.
And the background music again going.
Like
I
that,
think we
huh?
need a little background music. Huh?
Throughout the game?
Yeah,
that'll really
absolutely.
wash us out, wouldn't it?
Al, how's this guy become a different pitcher in the third inning? The first 2 innings, the KFC scoreboard 4-3 Blue Jays looked like he was going to get smacked out of the park.
Yes, it did. I think it's a matter of him. He was trying to figure out what was working early on. If you remember, the Jeter first pitch, Damon got a little slider for a double. Teixeira got a first pitch hit. He was reeling right away, scrambling. They threw a couple good curveballs to A-Rod Matsui, settled down. Posada got a first pitch hit and scored the 2 runs. I think it was a matter of him figuring out quickly what was working, and now you just see his demeanor. Talking about disposition on the mound, he just got a little swagger about him. He's making pitches. He's shown that he's throwing 4 pitches for strikes, at least 3. He's throwing very occasional changeup, fastball, curve, slider.
That one's drilled deep to right field. Going back, Inlet at the track.
Wow.
He leaps, and he makes the play. What a play by Joe Inlet for the first out of the 5th.
We were talking about J.D. Drew the other day in the Boston series. I mean, this is quite a play, too. I mean, you're going to see this in right center all year because the ball carries so well. It's going to give outfielders a good chance to get back there and make these grandstand plays.
It's a great play. Damon did the same to Rob Vernon Wells in the 2nd inning. Great snag by him. Now they're paying him back, Joe England.
Again, it's an all-out lunge, but you see that, I mean, that was on a full run. And you talk about a pick-me-up to a pitcher, and you feel good about it as a fielder. You know that, especially early in an inning where they could get a rally started, you make a big play on the first out. It's a pitcher's job to make a couple outs on his own. Yeah, you can laugh about it, Johnny. It does hurt a little bit, though, doesn't it? Eats at you.
High fly ball center field. Off the end of the bat, Wells right there for the 2nd out. Tied 9 in a row, Richmond has after the walk to Teixeira in the 2nd. That's going to bring up Alex Rodriguez.
Well, Johnny got a mistake there as we were talking about Richmond settling in. That ball was milled to play. That's why he crushed it the way he did. He comes right back with fastball to Teixeira and then a nice changeup. Watch the location. This is supposed to be a slider. Those couple strikeouts were over here. You see that ball down the middle. That is a mistake. Good major league hitters will hit it hard.
What a difference since the first 2 innings, 3 runs, 7 hits, 38 pitches. Since then, nothing, 32 pitches.
And the big difference, I think when you look back, he found his curveball, then he started pitching off his curveball, and he weathered the storm. And, you know, you can either give it all up and their team's out of the game, or you can battle and see what happens, and that's what's happened. And then Toronto has scored some runs, and you've gotten through that terrible time in the game and given your, you know, now you've got some momentum. You can go out there and try to throw out 2 runs.
You just saw Brad Arnsberg, the pitching coach, ex-Yankee farmhand. I actually came up to the minor leagues with Brad, and he's a big proponent of throwing in on whether lefty or righty to get away from the big part of the bat. And also it's a bit dangerous. Richmond ended up giving up 12 home runs in left-handers this year, 4th most in the American League. But to Brad's point, more pitchers throw away, mostly because of college and high school even. You know, the aluminum bat, they're afraid of missing it because it is a big fly. Easier to pull the ball and hit it for a home run. But you show me a major league pitcher that's successful in front end, and I'll show you a guy that throws inside effectively to stand a guy up and also to get outs in there.
So a 2-out walk issued to A-Rod, and here is Matsui. Pitch upstairs. Red Sox now lead the Tigers 4-3 on Mike Lowell's home run. That's in the top of the 4th inning. Red Sox won last night, shaved the game off the Yankee lead. Now 5.5 entering tonight.
But you saw Richmond just absolutely dealing. All of a sudden, some of those breaking balls are starting to hang out over the plate. Damon hit hit one to the wall. That last pitch kind of hung. It's very important if you're going to test lefties with breaking balls that you get that ball diving in off the plate. You leave it out over the plate, especially in this stadium, you're going to get hurt. And this is a fastball. This is up in the zone, kind of too high for Matsui to do anything with.
Matsui struck out and popped to third. 7 for his last 20.
There's that good breaker in off the plate. You don't get hurt there. I mean, you know that. I mean, the worst thing you're going to get is a ball. And see where this ball ends up. A lot of left-handed hitters will offer at that pitch. And to hit it hard, you got to hit it foul or you got to take it. So you're not going to get hurt as a pitcher. Now, you start hanging that ball over the middle of the plate, that's when you're asking that umpire for another one.
Strike.
Matsui didn't like this. He chased it, waved, and fouled off a higher than high. That ball, you don't always see that pitch. Matsui didn't like the height of it. Obviously, as a pitcher, see, that was about belly button high.
Two. High fly ball. Right field. Inglett's there. And that's going to do it. Well, the Yankees don't score. Part of the reason is that Johnny Gateman led off with what could have been a double. But Joe Inglet had other ideas. A nice catch in front of the auxiliary scoreboard. We played 5. To take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Blimpie, America's Sub Shops. Baltimore leads Oakland 3-2, bottom of the 6th. Cleveland shutting out Texas 5-0, top 6. Boston 4-3 over Detroit. That's in the top of the 4th at Fenway. There was a brawl in that game. And Tampa Bay, the Angels, 10:05 start in the National League. 4-1 Atlanta over Washington, bottom of the 5th. Houston leading Florida 6-2, bottom of the 5th. The Cubs lead the Phillies 1-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. The Mets and the Diamondbacks a 9:40 start. Look at that Phillies score tomorrow. Pedro Martinez starts for the Phillies. They've removed Jamie Moyer out of the rotation and inserted Pedro Martinez. Vernon Wells takes a strike as we start the 6th. 94 pitches for Chamberlain. You see the Blue Jays lead 4-3.
Once in a while, as a hitter, you get a pitch that kind of gets your attention a little bit.
See his reaction diving in a little bit. That ball, never want to throw it up there in the neck or the head, but you got to come inside. Hitter's got to know you're standing out there.
We talked about Rios being traded in quotations after he was claimed on the waiver wire. The Blue Jays would love for somebody to claim Vernon Wells because his salary is becoming an albatross, and certainly his production is not to the level of the salary, and he pops up the short. But no one's going to take that chance.
You see, this is kind of a hanging slider also, but Wells, see that reaction. Believe me, we've all been there as hitters. You get a pitch to hit and you just miss it. It's one of those years is, you know, doesn't look comfortable at the plate, kind of pulling off the breaking ball. You know, he's got numbers from the past that show what type of player he could be. You know, every once in a while you get locked in an organization and it just, things aren't going well.
Well, a lot of it has to do with some injuries. He's had some injury bugs, but you mentioned Paul. 03, 33 home runs, 117 RBI. His last very productive year was in 06, 32 home runs, 106. And he's been hurt an awful lot. Groin, calf, shoulder.
Swing and a miss. And Ruiz, who had the home run that put the Blue Jays ahead, strikes out for the second out.
Again, laughed at bat. I thought he got a fastball, and you thought it might be the last fastball he sees tonight. You see him striking out on a breaking ball, and I mean, there's an old saying that, you know, guys, look at this.
They're starting to multiply.
Just hanging them on the line out there. Must be laundry day. Huh?
Maybe the one just fell off. We think it's a junior jersey, but maybe the one fell off.
Pretty cool. Here, put a little one on it. I appreciate that.
Encarnacion fouls it away.
Things are going well tonight. I just got a text from my daughter. She says, "I agree with you, Dad. You need background music." Isn't it nice when your kids agree with you?
It's great.
Huh?
They know where their bread is buttered. What, are they going to agree with Al? This ground ball is short. Jeter's there, so a strong 1-2-3 6th inning for Java Chamberlain as the Blue Jays go down in order, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. Blue Jays up by 1 on my 9. Baseball, special discounts, and other exclusive fan club items. To join, call 1-800-GO-YANKS or log on to Yankees.com. Well, Jabba seems to have refound his groove as Posada now digs in against Scott Richmond. And the right-hander deals. strike on the outside corner.
Good sinker. I mean, Richmond, if you look what's happened, I mean, he's got a better curveball. He's got a better slider, which is kind of taken over the inside part of the plate. And he's using his fastball. He's sinking it to the outer part of the plate. So he's using a lot more of the plate than he did in the first couple innings.
The other way.
Yeah, it's a good story. There's certain guys where you're happy for them. I mentioned at the beginning with the Scott Richmond Scout Report. After high school, nobody wanted him. Didn't get scholarships. He's from British Vancouver, British Columbia. Ended up being a dock worker in Vancouver for 3 years. Signed out of an independent league, the Northern League. Rob Ducey, ex-Blue Jay player, signed him, and here he is at 29 years old, pitching in the big leagues.
It's funny you think about it. I mean, as a high school player in Canada, how many games do you play a year in high school? I mean, what, a 10, 12 game season? I mean,
probably about as many as they do in New York State.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Swing and a miss.
There's a lot of baseball players that come from that Vancouver area.
Well, Richmond struck out 7. Let's take a look at all 7 of those.
Big old hook, lock it up, A-Rod. Then a nasty curveball in the dirt. The curveball started going, as Paul was saying, another curveball. Then they started introducing this little slide. Not introducing, but that late break inside corner. It looks like a fastball. It's either just dropping out, Melky Cabrera, and then that big 12-6 breaking ball slow enough to get Posada out in front on his front leg.
Here's Robinson Cano. Count 1-0.
So you got a guy on the mound. He's settling in, and it looks like all of his pitches are working. How do you approach these at bats here and out?
well, this right there.
That's out.
You go up there and you hit like Robbie Cano. But now, from a left-handed hitter, if I'm facing this guy right now, his good curveball is in off the plate. So I'm going to look away. He's starting to sink the ball a little bit, and I'm going to hit the ball up the middle of the other way and take away that ball away out of my mind, because he's not throwing it for strikes in there. He's getting strikeouts, but they're not good pitches to hit. So I'm going to look out over the plate and drive the ball the other way.
First time that Richmond's given up 8 hits in any outing all year. Now Cano has 2 hits tonight. He's had multiple hits in 7 of his last 8 games. And Eric Hinsky, who has not looked good in his first 2 at-bats against Richmond, takes a pitch outside 1-0. He struck him out on a breaking ball diving down and in twice.
Now you see that last fastball. I mean, you didn't see that tailing, kind of sinking fastball early in the game. He was throwing that 4-seamer.
Backing up. There was to eliminate the inner half. Now is along with your game plan, get a fastball away here. Also, too, the element of it. Even though talking about how the Blue Jays as a staff likes to throw inside, it is here at Yankee Stadium, and it's easier to go to right field than anywhere else.
I mean, you're going to pull that miss, that hanging slider out over the plate. You'll pull that anyway. Just don't give him that ball away.
Now 3-0. Does Girardi green light Hinsky, try to get himself a 5-4 lead?
I go down 1 run. I think that 6th inning. I think possibly you got to know your hitters. A manager is very comfortable with some hitters and not with others. I think when things are going well, as a manager, you tend to allow players to do a lot more things on their own.
Did you like swinging on 3-0?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Most guys don't like it because it's if you don't drive the ball or hit it hard, you fail. This was your shot, 3-0.
And the 3-1. There's a strike along with Paul O'Neill, and now Leiter on Michael Kay. And you're watching Yankees baseball on My 9. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Blue Jays lead the Yankees 4-3 in front of the big house here at the big house. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Ryan Bruni throwing in the Yankee bullpen. popped up, shallow right center. Vernon Wells, and scooting back is Cano. So they're 2-away.
And Eric Hinsky had a pitch to hit here. You know, he got in a 2-strike count, and as a hitter, you know, when you're not playing every day, you get a little defensive. But this is kind of a hanging breaking ball right out over the plate. Sometimes you wait too long, and he kind of jammed himself. You see that little stutter step. You try to make that ball drop in there. We talked about Vernon Wells and some of his injuries, but he still plays a pretty good center field. A lot of those injuries, might be AstroTurf injuries, leg injuries, playing on that stuff up in Toronto day in and day out.
Here's Melky Cabrera, and the pitch is low. As you mentioned, Cabrera's 25th birthday today.
You've had 2 career home runs on 3-0 counts.
Yeah. I didn't swing very much. It only took a couple ground outs to quit swinging 3-0. Every once in a while, I remember one of them was in the old Detroit Stadium. It's a left-handed hitter, that's a pretty good place to let it fly, because if you didn't even look at that leche, milky, huh?
Leche is milk in Spanish.
Didn't even have to use your SAP button for that, right?
Melky was given a birthday cake by the Spanish-speaking media today before the game in the Yankee media room across the hall from the clubhouse.
I saw him doing a press conference. That wasn't over his birthday, was it? Did you get a press conference for your birthday? No, that's pretty good.
When I walked by and I saw that they had given him that cake, I felt sorry that I'd never done that for you, Paul.
Really?
Yeah. We should have been closer when we played.
You know what? I knew that Michael and I were real tight when I got my first invitation to his party, his winter party or Christmas party, whatever you have. I got an invitation.
And I knew we were real tight when he said no.
Yeah, I wasn't in town, but kept the invitation.
Swung on and foul tipped into the glove of Baraja, so Richmond continues dealing 2 more strikeouts. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We move on to the 7th inning. It's 4-3 Toronto. And the fastest internet. This is Fios. This is big. And Brian Bruni gets the call. So Jabba had 2 rough innings, the 3rd and the 4th.
Yep.
And right now it's costing him the game as the Yankees are trailing 4-3. They turn to Brian Bruni, 3-0. He has 27 strikeouts in just under 23 innings, a hit per inning, and 12 walks. Last time he pitched was that 15-inning game that the Yankees won over the Red Sox. 2 scoreless innings for him. On the Chase scoreboard, 4-5-0 Jays and 3-8-0 for the Yanks. And the 0-1 to Barajas. Fouled straight back here. And it just missed Blue Jay radio announcer Jerry Howard. That's why Al's laughing. I mean, he did some ducking there, Al.
Yeah, he did. He should have. That would have hit him right in the forehead. Jerry Howard, great guy, long time doing the Blue Jay radio, as Michael said.
High fly ball. Left center. Melky Cabrera puts it away. One down.
Mentioned about Bruni, Michael, on Friday night, 2 innings, only 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, 39 pitches. Brian Bruni feeling better, trying to find that groove, get back in the mix, along with Phil Hughes and Phil Koch.
And one appearance in the Boston series where it was a tie game, and those are the appearances that really give your pitchers confidence. Put them in that situation, got through the inning, and they end up winning the game, and that's probably the most important outing he's had since he's been back, to feel like he's in that situation.
Sharply hit and a base hit through the right side for England. So the number 9 hitter is walked and now singled. He's 1 for 2.
And this fastball down the middle. Joe Inglet recently called up from AAA. Good short, compact swing.
Al, if you look at this lineup, this is almost like the old-fashioned National League lineup. When you look at Encarnacion hitting 7th, he's hitting 194. Barajas 241. Inglet 236. So towards the bottom of that lineup, that's the inning that you've got to have your quick inning, because the front half of this lineup, those guys are hitting the ball hard and they're scoring runs. And not to say that these guys can't do some things if you make mistakes, obviously, but you want to get the outs that you feel like you have in the lineup. You need to get them before Scudero and Hill and Lind and Overbay, before those guys start marching up the on-deck circle.
Here is Scudero, 1 for 3.
Which is the case. You look at the Yankee lineup, and as deep as it is, and 1 through 9, most of the clubs are just what, as you described, Paul. You top good catalyst, spark plug type hitters, and Scudero and Hill. They've really missed Wells, as we've talked about. Rios, they thought, would have emerged better than he did. They traded Scott Rowland, who was having a heck of a year, so the bulk of their offense has really been depleted. And that's been a bugaboo for them.
Bottom of the 5th inning, Red Sox still lead 4-3 over the Tigers.
You look at the Blue Jays staff, they're second in the American League in ERA. Last year, they had the best ERA team-wise in all of baseball by about 40 points. Well, American League by 40 points.
But the 2 guys that were a big part of that, obviously Roy Halladay and B.J. Ryan, who is no longer here.
And A.J. Burnett last year.
Oh, that's right.
And the 0-2. Did he hold up? Yes, he did, said Joe West. Joe Girardi doesn't agree. Let's see if he's right. Didn't look like he held up.
It's one of those strikeouts that you can get when you throw mid to high 90s. Guys just can't handle that ball that high. And, 92, 93, guys will take that pitch. But when it's that hard at 96, you offer at it and you can't hold up most of the time.
Just misses outside.
Well, and also, too, the reaction time in 96, it happens so quickly. You got to click it sooner, so as a result, the hitter's going to be a little jumpier, having to honor a 95 or better fastball.
It's his second time tonight. Scudero's been 0-2 and then worked back into the count.
2-2. He struck him out.
see, but he works himself back in the count, and I saw a stat where it was either he or Suzuki from Seattle were the best hitters from 0-2 on. They battle back in the count. Not an automatic out. That's a good slider right there.
No, that would be Ichiro.
That would be Ichiro. You don't hear his last name.
No, he's one guy.
Let's try to throw one at Michael, see if he caught that.
Aaron Hill fouls it back. I don't have a problem with saying Suzuki. That's the name. I mean, why don't call Derek Jeter Derek? What does he know?
Well, I know there was a little bit of an issue with teams are supposed to put the last name, and he was allowed to put Ichiro.
Right. It's like you're Elvis. I mean, why do you stand out above everybody else? I think it should be Suzuki.
So do I.
Let's get it done. Scudero hits .321 after 0-2 counts this year.
Pretty impressive.
Mike Lowell just hit another home run, and he had gone into pinch run for Euclid when Euclid was ejected for having to fight with Porcello, and now he's belted 2 home runs in this game.
That's a pretty good day when you're not even supposed to play, and all of a sudden, bam, you've got 2 home runs in the home run column. You brought your team back. You're now winning a game that, who knows, might change your team's season, because everything in the world has happened. You've had brawls, you've had guys get kicked out, you just got swept in Yankee Stadium. You need something to kind of light a fire. That might be happening in Boston tonight.
One. Throwing hard, but missing outside the count. 2-1. High drive, right center, backing up Pinsky, and he makes the play in front of the scoreboard for the final out of the 7th inning. No runs ahead, no errors, and 1 man left at the end of 6.5. Time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees are trailing this one 4-3, but we'll stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx.
Please rise and offer a moment of silent prayer.
On the Chase scoreboard, the Blue Jays lead the Yankees 4-3 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. And the Blue Jays go to the bullpen. It's Jeremy Accardo taking over for Scott Richmond. Accardo throws hard. Came over from the San Francisco Giants in a deal for Shea Hillenbrand. I'm wondering, though, you see his numbers. This will be his 19th game. Too many walks in 17 innings. Would that glove distract you, Paul? Would you?
I was just going to say, I guarantee he got a new glove when he got traded because he didn't have that in San Francisco. That's almost fluorescent.
Now, could a manager say,
no?
Really? Why? Because it's a team color?
Yeah.
No, multicolor. You're not allowed to have more than one color. I know that, I think Pedro or somebody, I don't know whether he was with the Mets, he had like orange and blue. I think solid color you can wear it.
So if you want to have a hot pink glove, you can have a hot pink glove.
Yeah, I don't know.
Haven't seen that one yet, have you?
No. How about white?
That doesn't count. You can't have white.
Crowd trying to get the Yankees into it, as the Yankees have gone quiet after the 2nd inning. They had opportunity in the 2nd inning. They're leading 3-0, bases loaded, 2 outs, and Alex Rodriguez popped up to Wells. The opportunity to blow the game open, but that didn't happen. Phil Coke warming in the Yankee bullpen. In 3 appearances against the Yankees this year, Accardo has pitched to a 7.71 ERA. Missed outside, 2-1. When Accardo was traded here from the Giants a couple of years ago, Dave Righetti, the pitching coach of the Giants, said that Accardo is the type of guy who can close. He's got that sort of stuff, but it hasn't worked out for him that way with Toronto. Jesse Carlson, who pitched yesterday, warming for the Jays. And the count 3-1.
You mentioned about Rags, Jeremy Accardo. You're right. He's got an explosive fastball, little split changeup, and injuries really cost him some time here.
I'll tell you talk about closer stuff. I mean, last night in the 8th inning, Brandon Lee he came in and he does have that closer stuff. Hard, overpowering fastball and a slider.
You know, we were talking about before the game about how guys once upon a time had heavy bats, and you had a 35 ounce, which that's heavy for this time. We were talking about Richie Allen, who had a 42 ounce bat. And it was common that guys had 30 to 40 ounce bats, but you know, how often did they see 97?
Right.
Not just closers. I mean, you know, how often we watch these games now? You know, guys coming in 95 or better, middle setup, long man.
And I tell you, it has changed. I mean, every team now comes in, has guys that come out of the pen throwing in the mid-90s to upper 90s, and you know, it's a different brand of baseball. I mean, you used to take those guys and make them starters. Now they make them set up, man, and where you can go 100% and, you know, throw that overpowering fastball for your 1 or 2 innings and go home.
Fights it off and pops it up down the right field line. It's going to dunk in there for a base hit. Jeter's living well. He's 3 for 4. So the Yankees have the tying run on.
See, Gene said probably ball 4, but you know, his approach was to stay inside this, and you see that he stayed inside the baseball. And if you put it in play the other way, you've got a chance for a hit. He's got enough of it, or a little of it, to dunk it in there for a base hit. The Yankee fans hopefully the start of something big in the bottom of the 7th.
Derek's 13th 3-hit game of the year. Here's Johnny Damon. Johnny with 2 doubles and was robbed of a 3rd double. A nice play by England in right center. Pitch outside, 1-0. Goes the other way, pops it up, shallow left. Scudo and Lynn with the call on the catch. 1 out.
So Scudero and Lynn, there was that one moment of indecision there, and again, these fly balls in between the infielder and the outfielder. The outfielder's job is to get in there, make this an easy play. Scudero kind of in at double play depth. It's a harder play for him. That stutter step, you don't want to catch a spike and end up tripping. Talk about an embarrassing play for an outfielder when you go head first and lawn dart when that ball hits behind you.
Here's Teixeira. Strike.
One thing as an outfielder is to do everything clean as you're running for the ball. You know, you don't want to run hard because it kind of bounces your head and the ball moves. You don't want to kind of stutter your feet because you can catch a spike. And believe me, a lot of things can happen out on a baseball field that don't look too athletic when things start happening quick at the end of the play and you're unsure of yourself.
Teixeira 1 for 2 with a walk. An RBI tonight. Foul back. Teixeira with 86 ribbies.
Mark Teixeira, it looks like he's just coming off the ball just a little too quick. Watch his front hip, all sinking away. Well, that front hip's gone, and that's how he gets his extension. He gets his arms out on the baseball. But it's such a fine line of leaving too quick and staying in there where you can center the ball.
The 0-2. Right in on the fist and popped up. Encarnacion. 2 outs.
Again, I mean, strike one, you start, and then there's the pitch. That ball was out over the plate. This is the thing here. That was a pitch that he missed. But again, you pulled off. Now I'm going to stay in there, and then you kind of jam yourself. You see, he didn't get that extension that you want. If you're Mark Teixeira.
Looks like a little mistake on Ricardo's part. He was setting up away. That was a cutter.
Right.
That actually, to Ricardo's favor, got inside on him.
And that's the funny thing. You go back as a hitter, and you didn't know that he missed his location. So you think, gosh, he got me out inside, which means he wanted to come inside. You didn't know that he missed it. You know, so the next time up, now you're going to look away, or look in, and then they're actually trying to get the ball away to you.
Now, as one guard against that ball, he could run in the video room and see that he missed the spot.
Yeah, and sometimes you will do that. A lot of guys do this day and age. You just go in.
You don't.
I used to in the old days. I loved video, and I would go in there screaming and yelling and want to know about pitches if they were strikes or balls, and I would watch video to see that. And you know, you can pick up things what you're doing at the plate immediately on video. It doesn't lie.
You were screaming and yelling, huh? You must have been a joy.
Never.
You just said it.
It was just a figure of speech, Mike, you know?
How about a 3 for 3 night? Were you still screaming and yelling?
Oh, I wasn't chasing pitches then. I was hitting the balls and running around the bases. Those were fun, man.
I would say 9 out of 10 guys go in and look at some point. More about what Paul's saying about where are they pitching, location.
Pitch outside to Alex Rodriguez at the count 1-1.
And the only time a pitcher would go out there would be you're begging or complaining about balls and strikes and thinking what you see on the mound is different than when you go inside and check it on replay.
Do you ever think that it's a bad call, checking a replay, that you know I was wrong?
Yeah, often.
It's funny, too, because you go in there.
Ripped to third. Nice play by Encarnacion. And he fires to second to get the force on Jeter. A nice scoop by Hill. So they play no doubles close to the line, and Encarnacion snares that hard ground ball. So the leadoff single by Jeter is wasted. No runs, a hit. No errors, a 1 man left. Good play by Encarnacion as we Hill with a hit and a run scored. Adam Lynn with a hit and a run scored. A double and 3 ribbing for Lyle Overbay. That's the difference in the game right now. A home run by Randall Ruiz, which actually broke the 3-3 tie. And Joe England picked up a single and also scored a run. That's the Blue Jays in-game box score. New pitcher for the Yankees. Bruni worked a scoreless 7th inning, and now Phil Koch comes on. He'll face Lynn, Overbay, and maybe they bring in Phil Hughes for Vernon Wells. Those are Koch's numbers. And Lynn fouls it back.
These are those games that, a week ago you just expect the Yankees to come back and throw up that big number at the end of the game. But you can't, as a team, just wait for things to happen. They've been playing great baseball, but you can't just think it's going to happen without going out there and making it happen. They're just waiting for that, that big inning to try to get another win. Bullpen's done a great job the last couple of nights, giving the offense a chance.
4 shutout innings for Sabas, and so far an inning by Bruni. Chamberlain went 6. He's the pitcher of record on the losing side. Richmond, the pitcher of record on the winning side for the Jays. Driven the other way, giving chase toward the line as Damon runs out of room. Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard again, brought to you by AT&T. Your world delivered. Baltimore holding on against Oakland 3-2, top 9. Cleveland 5-0 over Texas, top 8. Boston 6-3 over Detroit, bottom of the 6th. Tampa Bay at LA. That starts at about 35 minutes. Atlanta over Washington 6-1, top of the 7th. Houston has moved ahead of Florida 7-6, top 7. Cubs 2, Phillies nothing, top of the 6th. Mets and Diamondbacks at 9:40, so that's about 10 minutes. That one's popped up. The birthday boy, Melky Cabrera, puts it away for the first out. Along with Paul O'Neill and Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay, and you're watching Yankees baseball here on My 9. Top of the 8th inning, and the Blue Jays lead the Yankees 4-3. The middle game of this 3-game set. Yesterday, or last night, the Blue Jays won 5-4. And the series finishes up with a matinee tomorrow, a 1 o'clock start. Here's Overbay. 1 for 3, and the 1 was so big. Bases clearing, bases loaded, double.
All right, Michael, I'm going to put you on the spot. And now we just heard, just reset this with Paul O'Neill and Al Leiter tonight. Who's your dream game? Who are you up in the booth with? Scooter?
Oh,
Ben Scully?
Oh, wow. Oh, you mean ever?
Ever, yeah. Who's your...
Well, Ben Scully works alone, so that wouldn't be an option.
That'd be an easy game, then, huh?
I would love to do a game with Rizzuto, White, and Messer.
That'd be it? Because you kind of grew up with
That's
them,
who
right?
I grew up with.
Mel Allen.
You know what? That was kind of before my time. He came back toward the end with Sports Channel. But you're gonna think this is wimpy. Every game I do is a dream.
All right, next pitch. Let's go.
Give me the tissue, would you?
That story started out so good, and then you just threw out.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, wanted to be the Yankee now since I was 9. So
it's getting better. Keep going.
That's it. So every game I do is a dream, even with you two.
That's right. We do need a little Barry Manilow behind that one.
The 2-1. Foul back, 2-2. Vernon Wells picking out a fan. There's a smile of the game. And the 2-2. Right back to Koch. And there's 2 row. And Joe Girardi's going to mix and match now. So with the righty Wells coming up, he's going to go to a right-hander.
All reactionary here. Nice little chariot hop back to Phil Koch.
So Koch gets the 2 left-handers. And Girardi takes the ball. He's going to signal for Hughes. Hughes will come on to face Vernon Wells. Yankees are trailing 4-3. We're in the top of the 8th with 2 outs. 1 3.41. Good numbers. 46 strikeouts and 31 2/3. 25 hits. Too many walks. I'm sure he wants to cut that down, but he's got electric stuff.
How about the most strikeouts per 9 of any American League reliever? 13.19 strikeouts per 9.
Oh, Robertson in the clubhouse today when I was walking through or walking out in the tunnel, and you could just see that he had that. It was his night. Chances are, with the Sabres not being able to pitch, this is going to be one of the nights that I get in the game. And as a reliever, you go into the game thinking you're going to pitch. You have that little adrenaline even before the game starts.
There's a strike to Vernon Wells. School is in class. School is in session.
Tell you that picture of Chad Godin down there. I think every pitcher, certainly in the Yankee bullpen, ought to talk to Mariano.
Nice play by A-Rod to the glove side, and he gets the hustling Vernon Wells. So the Yankee bullpen matches up to get another scoreless inning as the Blue Jays go down 1-2-3. But now the Yankee offense has to kick in. Final out by A-Rod, Matsui, Posada, and Cano next. Time for the Yankees in-game box score, brought to you by Hyundai. Ready for good news? Get Hyundai Assurance and up to $5,000 cash back on select models now. 3 hits for Derek Jeter, 13th time this year he's done that in a game. Johnny Damon with 2 doubles and a run scored, a ribby by Mark Teixeira. Jorge Posada picked up a ribby on a double and a run scored, 2 hits for Robinson Cano. Eric Hinsky 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, and Melky Cabrera with a sac fly drove in a run on his 25th birthday. That's 7 innings of box score. We have the bottom of the 8th coming up right now in front of a big crowd here at the new Yankee Stadium. And a new pitcher is Jesse Carlson. Richmond started, went 6. Jeremy Accardo in the 7th. And now Carlson here in the 8th.
Carlson pitched a scoreless inning last night. 1 strikeout.
And he will deal to Matsui. Grounded foul.
See what Carlson does to lefties. He's kind of that sidearm throwing. Not a release point as a left-handed hitter that you see a lot, so it usually takes a little bit to get used to. But you see Matsui.
You remember Bob McDonald?
No.
Lefty with the Blue Jays, I think. Played a few years ago. Reminds me just like it was. Sidewinder across his body, like you said.
Count 1-1. 10 career appearances against the Yankees. Carlson sports a 6.75 ERA.
Guys like this, I used to really bug me as a hitter because I thought, this isn't the way this guy learned to play baseball. You can't tell me this the first time he picked up a ball, he fell off the mound through sidearm. It's just something you get along to get left-handers out on, and it used to irritate you as a hitter.
Line drive, foul ball. Nice play by the ball boy.
Yeah, this is it. Now you tell me the first time he picked up a ball, this is the way he threw it? It's all about getting left-handed hitters out when you come out of that bullpen.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. The Yankees had Mike Myers, a very effective lefty pitcher, and the reason why he dropped down, to your point, was Al Kaline suggested to get more movement. And you're right, most conventional throws or pitchers, you learn to throw over top, and then over the years you either drop down because your arm starts to hurt, or to be more effective you got to get more movement. Mark Eichhorn was a guy who played for several years with the Blue Jays. He was a guy also in the minor leagues, was an over top guy, and then really ended up doing some like Chad Bradford kind of thing, way sidearm frisbee underhand stuff.
Just missed in the count, 3-2.
See Matsui kind of hold his breath there. It's a borderline high strike. Ball's up in the zone. Got a lot of the plate. I didn't want to call if I was hitting. I know that.
Deep to right, but foul. Well foul.
That ball's hit hard, but your tendency as a left-handed hitter when a guy drops down that much is to open up that front shoulder so you can see the baseball. And this is what happens. You get pitches to hit, and you pull them foul. And it's because that front shoulder and that front hip automatically open a little bit just so you can see the baseball.
That one's drilled deep to right. There it goes. See ya! A lone home run for Matsui, and the game is tied at 4. Oh, did he crush that?
I'll tell you what a great at bat, and we say you don't see that delivery very often, but he saw enough pitches in this at bat. And he got into a fastball count, and I tell you what, that ball was just inside enough. We've seen some of the longer home runs in the last couple of days. His 17th home run of the year. 9 of Matsui's home runs this year have come off lefties. I mean, he has a knack of, he pulls off the ball. He just has a knack of pulling off at the right time. He stays in there a little bit longer. You see this fastball. Boy. Tell immediately.
Yeah.
That ball was gone.
And he gets a curtain call out of it, so new ball game now. Job is off the hook. Richmond cannot get the win. And there's Posada. Foul back.
Well, the previous pitch where he almost hit a home run by pulling it, was the reason for him to pull it was that it was off-speed pitch. He was out in front of it. Now with the fastball with a little greater velocity, perfect time. He saw the location of it. He looked right down the middle.
This was really crushed.
Way into the night here.
And the curtain call. And with that home run, Mariano Rivera will start the throw. Field deep. England back. on the track, at the wall, leaps. See ya! A solo home run for Jorge Posada. The Yankees go back-to-back to take a 5-4 lead.
Talk about adding some energy and life and excitement to this crowd. He's just hoping doesn't have enough. England going all the way back to the wall. Obviously, Posada awfully excited about that. Watch his pitch going away from him. Back door, Posada staying on it long enough. Running out of real estate.
And another curtain call. Cito Gaston is going to talk with Paul Nauer. And he's saying that the fan reached over the wall to take the ball away from England. Let's see if he did. Guy didn't move his glove. I don't think he did.
Good play, too.
That was a great play. He did not reach over England's glove. England just missed the ball.
Well, that's that wall scraper you talked about, Al. That's the one that frustrates. But I tell you what, Jorge Posada, you saw his reaction. You've been in the game that long. You still get pumped up. I mean, this is what we were just talking about last inning. You see, what a great play by the fan. Got to the wall. Got to the wall, adjusted to it. And you see, Georgie, no matter how long you play this game, big hits are fun. And this is what we were almost surprised last night that something big didn't happen, but they got, they stayed in the game. Now back-to-back home runs, Mariano up in the pen. This is what the fans come for. We're probably going to have a review here before it's all said and done.
Well, isn't fair foul and then dispute as to?
I think they could. They can replay that. Yeah. Right. Here's what I don't understand, and they are going to look at the replay. And I'm glad that there's replay in baseball. Could you tell me how Joe West at first base could get down in time to see if that ball is interfered with? There's no way.
Yep.
I mean, they'll look at the replay and I'll see that it wasn't.
To have the right angle on that, you're right, Mike.
There's no way. In the playoffs, Richie Garcia was right down there with Tony Tarasco, and he got it wrong. When Jeffrey Mayer, he was right underneath it. So, I mean, it's an impossible call for an umpire, and the only fair thing to do is to have replay. So they go in for the replay. Right now,
that guy's signing autographs out there.
10-50.
He's keeping score.
9-50. And really, his glove did not reach above the right fielder's glove. He just kept it lying there, and the ball eluded the glove of England, landed in that gentleman's glove.
Also, England's timing of his jump. I mean, he went to the wall as he should have, jumped up, and it looked like he was already on his descent when the ball hit into the fan's glove. Watch him come back down.
This is blown up to get a better look, and it just missed his glove, and the guy has his glove resting against the wall. Lefty out there, Paul.
I said he played it well. He got to the wall, got his glove in position.
Well, if the home run counts, it's the first time since 1983 that the Yankees have had back-to-back home runs in 3 straight games. The dramatic one on Sunday, obviously, Damon and Teixeira. Yesterday, it was Cano and Hairston, and tonight it's Matsui and Posada. So, Cito Gaston in his second tour of duty with the Blue Jays wants this one reviewed, and this is what the umpires are looking at. This blown up from a different angle. And that guy's resting the glove against the wall, not reaching over the glove of England. And I think that's a good call. I think that's a home run. And we'll see if the umpires see the same thing when they look at the replay. If it stands, the Yankees are up 5-4, and Mariano will come in the 9th inning, but the Yankees still have nobody out in the bottom of the 8th.
You see
to
that
try
picture
to nail this
right
down.
there?
Yeah.
Al Leiter's over here twitching. You see that Red Bull in the back? He wants it. He wants it. It's his drink of choice.
Well, let's see. They keep one umpire out here, and one umpire now has come back. That looks like Ed Rapuano. The other two are still in there. You have to keep one umpire on the field so that they can control order. And Joe West says home run. So a valiant try by Gaston. Why not give it a shot? But West looked at the replay and said that was good. That's a home run. And just over 2.5 minutes of a review. And we'll take one more look at what the umpire saw. What you see, Inglet goes up. The ball misses his glove and lands in that gentleman's glove as Robbie Cano taps one back to the mound for the first out of the 8th inning. So Carlson, who's blown the lead and now is trying to get the loss, gets the first out of this inning. Here's Eric Hinsky. Hinsky 0 for 3 so far tonight. All of those at bats against Richmond. The first pitch is low, 1-0.
Now tell me if I'm right here. Now you know what has happened? Boston's in a rain delay now, right? So what happens when you're in a rain delay? You go in and you usually end up watching other games in the locker room. You're watching teams, and obviously they're thinking we're ahead. We can probably pick up a game on the Yankees, and all of a sudden you get back-to-back home runs.
Hinsky lines one down the right field line. It's a base hit. Cutting over his Inglet. He'll play it in the corner, and Hinsky picks up a one-out double. And Cito Gaston's seen enough.
Eric Hinsky from another lefty stays in there, gets the ball up out of the zone. Drives it to right field.
Well, Carlson came on, faced 3 left-handers, and only retired one of them, Robinson Cano. Matsui with a home run, Hinsky with a double, so he did not do his job, as Cito Gaston will signal to the bullpen for another pitcher. So Eric Hinsky gets congratulations. They'll probably send in a pinch runner. They do. That's Hairston, and Carlson's night is over. Yours isn't, though. Stay here. Back-to-back home runs by Matsui and Posada have given the Yankees a 5-4 lead. Josh Reneke comes on, and the hard-throwing right-hander will face Cabrera and Jeter. You see his numbers, 18 strikeouts and 15 and a third innings pitched. They put up on the scoreboard that today is Melky's 25th birthday, and the crowd is cheering that fact. You see Hairston is on as a pinch runner for Hinsky. He'll take over in right field. And the pitch. Strike by Reneke. Jesse Carlson go over in his mind? Any mistakes he might have made? Andy 0-1. And the crowd now chanting "Happy Birthday, Melky." Renicky came over to the Blue Jays in the deal that sent Scott Rowland to the Reds. So Encarnacion and Renicky came over. And the reason the Blue Jays made that deal, Rowland just said, "Listen, I'd like to go closer to home if you can trade me." And they did. He was having a good year, too. The 1-1. There's a base hit through the left side of the infield. Hairston rounds third. Here he comes. Here's the throw. Not in time. A birthday ribby from Melky Cabrera. And the Yankees lead 6-4.
Again, with men in scoring position, take what the pitcher gives you. This is a ball up and away, doesn't try to pull it, shoots it the other way. Good way to drive in runs. Melky Cabrera, I'll tell you what, day in and day out has done a lot of good things for the New York Yankees. See Harrison coming in. Not much on the throw. Things go well. I mean, it's fun to play baseball in Yankee Stadium when things are going well.
Well, we talked extensively about Derek Jeter being able to have the coverage that he does with Robbie Cano swinging the bat well, using the whole field. I agree with you, Paul.
And Jeter gets moved back.
Yeah, it looks a lot closer, certainly from the fans' perspective. This ball is just running in. That's what makes it much tighter for Derek Jeter's liking. Renicky throwing that two-seam running fastball. Derek getting out of the way.
A crowd of 46,523. Melky goes, pitch way outside, no throw. Stolen base for Cabrera.
Get that feeling, Al. You know, put yourself in the manager's shoes. If you make that many pitching changes, you bring in so many people that somebody's going to have a bad night. You just think that all your matchups are going to work out.
You know, and it depends on obviously the makeup of your bullpen and how Cito Gaston proceeds with his mix and matching.
The 2-0. Foul back.
But after Ricardo just came in strong, you know, one strong inning in the 8th and pretty much set him down. There was one hit. And then it becomes the whole lefty-lefty. The reason with Carlson, it's a little, not peculiar, but his lefty batting average against isn't that stark of a difference. 270 coming in tonight, right-handed batters. Lefties are 260. Normally your lefty specialist will have a ridiculous number batting average against. And the ones batting average against usually.
Driven the other way. And out of play.
So if you're really going to do the lefty-lefty matchup, you really have to have faith in your lefty, knowing that he just dominates. And he really does in Carlson up to this point.
Well, tonight after the game, which world champion Yankee from the past thinks he's a bigger heartthrob than Derek Jeter? The answer tonight on the Verizon Fios game wrap-up right after the game on My 9 News.
Bet you know this too.
I don't. I have no idea.
Really?
Nope. The 2-2 fouled away. One thing that, you know, we were here for the Boston series, Alan. You've done a lot of games this year as well. I think that over the last 6 games, the stadium has found its voice. For the first half of the season, I think that people were here to see this ballpark, and now they're here to see this team. And you can hear it gets loud, and there's a wall of sound that's building, and that's only going to serve more as a home field advantage as the season moves into September, and for the Yankees, they hope October. The 2-2 is swung on and missed as Jeter goes down on strikes. Have you sensed it being louder, Paul?
And I noticed you said that last night, and I definitely did during the Boston series. And early in the year, we were looking at each other like, is this place going to get a personality? And it really has. And I think the fans are starting to realize, what this year means. I mean, you've got a great team that's playing good baseball, and it's exciting. I mean, this is what people that are Yankee fans tune in for, to watch them day in and day out beat other teams.
Here's Johnny Damon, runner at second now, 2 outs. And there's a strike along with Al Leiter and Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on My 9. We thank you for spending part of your Tuesday evening with us. Another fun game. Yankees have 3 runs here in the 8th inning, and they've taken a 6-4 lead over the Blue Jays in the middle game of this 3-game set. And the series ends with a matinee tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And the 0-1. There's a base hit to right field. Going around third is Melky Cabrera. Here's the throw from England. It's cut off. They've got Damon in a rundown. Yankees lead 7-4. Can they get Damon? He's making it work, and they finally tag him out. But an RBI for Damon on his 3rd hit of the game. But the Yankees score 4 runs, and it started with the long ball. One swing by Matsui, rated back deep into the night. That tied the game. Got a curtain call. And then Jorge Posada went the other way. Ended up the same way. A home run, curtain call, Yankee lead. To Mariano Rivera, and the Yankees will do just that, sporting a 1.88 ERA, 37 hits and 7 walks for 44 base runners in 48 innings, 53 strikeouts, and 32 saves. So David Robertson came on to get the final out of the 8th inning. He will get the win in this game if Mariano can hold on. And Rivera will face Ruiz, Encarnacion, and Barajas here in the 9th. 7-14-0, leading 4-6-0. Ruiz gave the Blue Jays a 4-3 lead with his home run the other way off the foul pole and right. That was in the 4th inning. Blue Jays haven't scored since. Pitches inside. In Mariano's last 21 games, he's pitched 21 in the 3rd innings, has not allowed a run, 10 hits, 4 walks, and 21 strikeouts. There it is, right to Cano, 1 away.
You know, we had a kind of an extended version of Good to Enter Sandman tonight. The crowd was up, and Al, did you get to enjoy that enough on the Yankee side where you enjoyed it instead of when he ran in against the Mets to kind of close the door?
I just loved it.
Did it? Good. All right.
I'll tell you, the one place that was pretty cool about it in San Diego with Trevor Hoffman, they do the Hell's Bells, the boom.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing I remember exciting about that World Series when we went out to play San Diego is that one. I was standing on first base, and they brought him in, and the place was rocking. And that's the only thing they had to cheer about because they got swept. It was actually kind of fun to see.
The 0-1. Driven deep to center field, backing up Melky Cabrera. Still back on the track at the wall. See ya! A home run into Monument Park by Edwin Encarnacion. And the Blue Jays have whittled it to 7-5.
So the reaction of Mariano Rivera immediately, just he's not used to seeing this happen. But you know what? Every once in a while it happens. See a cut fastball just kind of hung out there instead of that sharp break. That sound to it, dead center field. Well, you don't see that very often against Mariano.
That's his first home run with the Jays. He had 5 with the Reds. And the first run Mariano's given up since June 12th. And there's a strike to Rod Barajas.
It's a long time. That's why Mo was shaking. What he doing? Encarnacion got all of it. June 12th.
Grounded foul. And really the Yankee bullpen of late has been near perfect. The 4 innings yesterday for Segas. A lot of zeros until that swing into the night and into Monument Park. Mariano finds it hard to believe. Ironically, that home run ended up where Mariano will end up one day, in Monument Park, with a plaque and the number, the whole deal. He's the last man in the big leagues to wear number 42 the way it is. And the 1-2 upstairs. Grounded and through for a base hit. So the Blue Jays are alive. They bring the tying run to the plate. A base hit for Barajas. Tonight after the game, which world champion Yankee from the past thinks he's a bigger heartthrob than Derek Jeter? The answer tonight on the Verizon Fios game wrap-up right after the game on My 9 News. Here's Joe Inglet. John McDonald's going to pinch run for Rod Barajas. So Barajas finishes his night 1 for 4. And that base hit snapped an 0 for 19 slide for Barajas. That's a long over. Pitch to England is a strike.
Weird how baseball kind of, it's just like, you're 0 for your last 19 and you're able to get to face Mariano too. And next thing you know, you're running to first base and you just got a hit. And now the sun will come up tomorrow now. It's just the way baseball is.
Grounded foul.
That's why you base it over the course of 6 months, and hitters get 500 plus at bats, and see how it all plays out come September.
The 0-2. Strike. England down looking.
And Mariano showed England that ball in, and then all of a sudden as a lefty you start looking in, and you can't cover that cutter away. One thing Mariano has done in the past couple years is learn to throw that cutter away when he needs to.
Now this is a matchup with some history behind it. This was in Oakland on April 15th of 2007. Scudero with a walk-off home run against Mariano, who tried to will it foul. It didn't go. And Mariano with a rare walk-off loss. And that was on Jackie Robinson Day, April 15, 2007. Now, rematch here at the stadium. But Scudero is the tying run in this one. There's a strike, and McDonald advances to second on defensive indifference. 2 for 9, but one of those two, as we showed you, that game-winning home run in Oakland. So by moving to second, that eliminates the easy force on a ground ball up the middle. (7-5) Yankees lead the 0-1. Cutter outside. 1-1.
Yeah, when Mariano misses, he doesn't miss by much. Cutter just off the outside corner.
Missed outside, and Posada wants to talk with him. And waiting on deck, the dangerous Aaron Hill, who has 27 home runs. And the 2-1. And the Blue Jays are down to their final strike. The Yankees have won 7 over the last 8, trying to even this series at a game apiece. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 9th. Yankees up by 2. And the count goes full.
Tell you what, Scudero, as usual, has put together a pretty good at-bat. Not fishing off the plate, going for that ball.
Well, Mariano's patting the cutter for him to. He's showing that he goes away as he's shown, but he'll block the guy up and begin the way it is. Base hit to right or something to the right side is not going to hurt you. Cutting away.
And the 3-2. He struck him out. And the Yankees win the game 7-5. Another come from behind victory for the Yankees. 4 runs in the 8th inning. Yankees overcome a 4-3 deficit, and they take this one home 7-5. And once again, the bullpen does an outstanding job.